Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and in today's review we have an absolutely incredible sneaker to take a look at. But before we actually get into it, I did just want to quickly say that today's review is actually a pretty special one for me personally, as today's review is actually my 200th since actually starting this YouTube channel. Now don't get me wrong, we already surpassed the 200 videos mark quite a while ago, but just as far as reviews go, this will be the 200th sneaker. So almost 3 years later and 200 reviews on, you guys are still watching. And I just wanted to say all the love and all the support on every single video is always truly appreciated. With that said, I honestly couldn't think of a better sneaker to be reviewing as my 200th than this one. So in today's review, we will be taking a really close look at the Air Jordan 3 reimagined in the white cement colorway. I personally am buzzing for this one. Didn't expect to be able to do it on the channel because of all the L's I took, but more on that later. So I don't want to hold you in suspense on the intro for any longer. So just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So just like we always do before we get into the shoes, let's just get the formalities out of the way and kick this off with the packaging. And not only do we see a reimagined take with the shoes, but also with the box packaging as well. Now we do have somewhat of a traditional theme to it, so we have that pretty traditional Air Jordan 3 style of box with that pop top lid, and they have also been done in a traditional colour scheme, so we have that mostly all black colour across the top with that red Jumpman, but they have added that aged or distressed look to the box to really add into that storytelling element behind the shoes. Now beneath that we then have that classic elephant print design, which does also have some slight distressing at the corners as well. And then if we do just take a quick look at the label, which reads, we have the Air Jordan 3 Retro in the Summit White, Fire Red, black colourway, and this is a personal pair as it is a UK size 9. Now that's what the size label should look like on your pairs as well, so if you are doing any legit checking, just pause the video there, that's how it should look. And then if we do open up the box itself, it is a pop top lid as I've said, and on the inside we do have that mostly all red colour. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about this reimagined series or theme, whatever they're calling it, is we do actually get some little extras on the inside of the box as well with this little pamphlet. Now, this is something that they used to get with the OG models as well, but they stopped doing it at some point. I don't know exactly when that was, but anytime we get anything like this, OG pamphlets telling you about the shoe or anything else that really ties it back to its original release, I personally think it's a really nice touch, so I always make sure to keep hold of these. Definitely a really nice touch in my opinion. And then beneath the actual pamphlet itself, we do have your pretty traditional elephant print paper, so that's how it should look as well. But then underneath that, we have what we came for. Here we have the shoes, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. So without any further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, in hand we have the Air Jordan 3 reimagined in the white cement colorway. Now before I can go any further with this video, I do have to give a huge shout out to Dan, who is actually the reason as to why I was able to get these for the personal collection. He went completely out of his way to go all the way to London for these and was then able to send them to me to be able to do this review for you guys. I didn't think I was going to get these, especially after the release day issues I was having. Like a lot of people, I entered on sneakers, I entered all the raffles, and like a lot of people, unfortunately, I took L's absolutely everywhere. They then decided to do a shock drop on JD, Size, and Foot Patrol, and again, it was completely impossible to actually get them and actually secure the pairs. But fortunately enough for me, Dan went out of his way, he secured this pair for me, and I honestly couldn't be more grateful to say that I actually have them now. So Dan, you're an absolute legend, and I definitely appreciate you hooking me up with these for retail.
Thank you!
Now this is definitely a shoe that has such history and heritage behind it that the backstory is almost equally as good as the colorway. Arguably the shoe that actually saved Jordan's legacy, the Air Jordan 3 White Cement initially released back in 1988 as part of 4 original OG colorways. So in addition to the white cements, but in no particular order, we also saw the black cements, the fire reds along with the true blues, all of which have been designed by the incredibly talented Tinker Hatfield. Now right before this shoe actually came out, there was actually a lot of issues between both Nike and Jordan, and it was actually rumoured that Jordan was actually going to be leaving Nike and actually signing with Adidas. Fortunately enough for them, Tinker Hatfield had just had incredible success with the Air Max 1, and fortunately enough, he was on the books, so was able to go ahead and create, arguably, or at least for me, the most iconic and best Air Jordan model that there ever was or ever has been. Jordan Brand is actually here today as a result of this shoe, which I do think is so important and just adds so much depth to the shoe itself. So when you actually consider that lost and found treatment that's now being applied to it, it just adds another layer of storytelling. But I do think overall the original story should be told, because it is the reason we're even here, you watching, me reviewing, is all down to Tinker Hatfield and the Jordan 3. So overall, if you didn't know, at least now you do. And then in terms of the materials for this one, we do have, like we see with most Jordan 3s, we have a mostly all leather construction. Now the main body of the leather that's actually seen on the upper, as far as my pair is concerned, is actually of a pretty good quality overall. Has a really nice soft tumbled texture to it, but it's not overly tumbled or overly processed. I personally do believe that it is of a genuine leather material as well, so that's always a major plus. And whenever it comes to a Jordan 3, you can never really complain about the quality of the leather, as it's always of a pretty high standard. It's not going to be the most premium leather you're ever going to see in your entire life, but just as far as the retro goes, I personally was really pleased with it. Fortunately enough for me, there was no QC issues with mine, like loose threading or glue stains or inconsistencies from one shoe to the other. So overall, the leather quality, as far as the main body of the shoe is concerned, absolutely no issues for me personally. And then if we move towards the front end, wrapping around the toe box on the mudguard, we then have a second set of leather, which is actually more of a flat leather to what we see on the main body of the shoe. But again, overall, is of a pretty decent quality for me. And then the main iconic features behind the Jordan 3, as far as I'm concerned, is the elephant print. Now we see this around the toe box as well as around the heel, and that is the thing that is definitely causing this shoe to go under the microscope for quite a lot of people. Now it definitely seems like from one shoe to the other, the actual elephant print that's actually done is slightly different and is slightly inconsistent from one shoe to the next. Even on my pair, on the right foot, it is more darker and more filled in than the left foot. But overall, I'm still not really going to complain about it. I personally love the elephant print on every single Jordan 3, whether they make it darker or lighter, or it's more pronounced or it's less pronounced. I really couldn't care less. I think overall, the elephant print is the thing that I love the most about the Jordan 3, and is definitely the thing that makes the shoe stand out to me. So that for me is never going to change, and I'm never really going to complain about it. I also do personally feel like, especially around the toe, especially with this new shape, it just looks absolutely incredible. So overall, as long as it's not atrocious and completely unnatural, I really don't think you'll have an issue. But again, overall, the quality of the elephant print for me wasn't really an issue. Now, as we do continue to work our way throughout the rest of the upper, we do have some more nice accents of colour to add a little bit more detail. So at the bottom of the laces, we do have these red eye stays, and then at the very top, we do have the black TPU eye stays to finish us off. From there, as we then work our way onto the ankle collar, we then have a slight shake up with this white perforated leather around the collar itself. And as we do work our way onto the heel of the shoe, we do have some of that aged detailing. Now the back tab itself has been done in that pre-aged sail colour. And then in the middle of the heel itself, we do have that OG Nike Air branding. And then when it does come to the lacing options for this one, you do only actually get one set of laces, which is really no surprise as it is a Jordan 3. Now the laces that come in the shoe are just your pretty standard flat white shoelaces. I have seen some people actually swapping it out for red, black and even sail. I personally believe, because this is an OG, I personally couldn't change the laces. I just like the look as it is, as the original basically. But in terms of other people trying to be a little bit more creative and trying to mix it up a little bit, I do think if I was to change the laces, sail would be the way that I would go. But outside of that, please don't put red and black laces in, because in my opinion, it just looks absolutely atrocious. But that's just my take on it.
The show goes on!
Now the laces themselves do sit atop more of that white perforated leather at the base of the tongue itself, but then at the very top we do have that red embroidered Jumpman looking very nice as always. From there, as we then work our way onto the inside of the shoe, we do have your pretty standard all white sock liner, and we do have a really nice pop of colour with that red back tab towards the back of the tongue itself. Now as far as the Jordan 3 padding is concerned, this definitely feels a lot more flushed out than any of the other Jordan 3 retros I picked up previously or even recently. It definitely feels a lot thinner. I don't know if it's just me. Even just on the photos, it definitely seems a lot thinner around the padding and around the collar area. So that's definitely a little bit of a negative, something that's a little bit of a drawback on the shoe itself. I personally love the padding on the black cements and the true blues from 2016 and 2018. And then over the years, we are seeing it thinning out quite a fair bit. So it really depends on your preference, whether you prefer the puffier collar or the thinner look. It definitely adds more of a streamlined design to it. So if you like that, you're probably going to love these. But for me personally, a little bit of extra padding would have gone a long way for me. And as we then continue to work our way even further onto the inside of the shoe, we do have your mostly all red insole, which does also feature that classic Nike Air branding once again. And then just to close that in terms of the details, as we do work our way down to the midsole, we do have a polyurethane midsole with that visible air unit towards the heel. And the midsole itself has also been painted in that pre-aged sail colour to tie into the heel and that aged look to the shoe. From there, as we then work our way onto the outsole, we do have your classic Air Jordan 3 style of outsole, which is done in that mostly all grey colour. We then have these nice accents of red towards the forefoot, as well as on the Nike branding. And again, we do have more of that pre-aged sale colour towards the heel. Again, a really nice touch in my opinion. Now, when it does come to the overall sizing for these, I went true to size with my natural true to size fit, which is a UK size 9. Like all Jordan 3s, this fits me exactly the same, albeit with less padding, as I've already touched on. So if you are looking for any sizing suggestions for this one in particular, I am just going to suggest you just go with your natural true to size fit, and I do think that that'll be the best bet for you. And then outside of that, we've covered everything that you need to know. So if we now just go ahead and just wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video, so you guys can get out of here, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to say they are a really solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. Probably would have been a whole 10 if there was a little bit more padding on the collar, but other than that, I've got absolutely nothing to complain about. As I've already touched on, the QC on my pair was immaculate. A little bit of an issue with the actual elephant print, but as I said, really no issue for me personally. I personally feel like this is definitely going to be making a lot of people's top 10s come the end of the year. It will definitely be making at least my top 5, top 3, top 2, and could even be my number 1 shoe of the year. I personally am absolutely ecstatic to add these into the personal collection. I can finally say I've completed the complete OG set of 3s with this new addition into my personal collection. So overall, I am honestly very, very happy with this pickup. The new retail price, and again, the issues that a lot of people are having might make some people feel some other kind of way about it. So I would actually love to get your guys' take on it as well. So do let me know what you think of my rating. Let me know what you think of the shoe, and any other thoughts, do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, as always, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace.